It's time to go live. My little streaming app gives me a little countdown, and then it tells me it's time to go live. So here we are, live on a Thursday, April 24th, 2025. This month is just flying by. We were just saying, hey, Q1 is in the books, and all of a sudden now I got that wrong stream up. And now we're back at it, and we got a month that is just flying by. I'm gonna start marking days off my calendar. Getting behind. This has been a busy week, and it's gonna stay busy for the next 3 weeks or so. My kid had to be on a plane for a school trip at 3:30 this morning, so I ended up just staying up late last night. Didn't get to bed until 4. And now up and away doing the stream. Why? Because I'm a streamer. And that's why I get up with only 4 hours sleep and do the stream. And I'll go back to sleep for a little bit because I don't have to be at work until 1 technically. But I didn't leave you hanging. All right, my name is Keith. If you're not familiar with me, if you're new to the stream, the one thing that you need to know is if you just stumbled across this stream, it's probably not for you. This is such a weird, niche stream. If you want to hang out, that's cool. I certainly would not discourage you from hanging out, but I created the stream as a place for people who are in the job market and need a pal to hang out with, to stay motivated, stay consistent, and getting those job applications out, getting up every morning, doing what it takes to get those job apps out. I stream on Twitch, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn, and all of those are archived. So if you don't get up early, or maybe you do, but you have a job, for instance, and maybe you do your job searching in the afternoon or in the evening, or you sneak away at lunch, you can still throw me on and listen to me ramble about tech, about what's going on in the job market, and answer any questions. Good question yesterday. Somebody who was interested in knowing a little bit more about internships. They're still in university. Happy to answer any and all of those questions. Again, I've been a professional developer for over 30 years. Done a lot of different kinds of programming during that time. And currently I manage a coding school, helping people upskill and learn to program from nothing. Although there are less and less of those people. We used to be my day job. We used to be a boot camp, and we were a 0 to 1 boot camp, and people were knocking down our doors 5 years ago, saying, "I need to learn how to code. I want a job as a professional developer." There aren't as many of those people as there used to be. So we're focused on upskilling, because we all who work in industry know that the speed at which the tech industry keeps moving, and that we need to keep up with that, or we fall behind and we become less valuable to current and future employers. And as a result, we all know we should be upskilling, but very few of us actually make time. We always say, "Oh, this weekend I'm going to work on that thing. I'm going to go learn that framework." And then life shows up, and you do less than you want to, if any at all. So that's the problem we're solving in my day job. But again, for this stream, just a pal to hang out with, just a buddy, see what's going on. We do 2 things on the stream. We look at job numbers. as they currently are in the web space, and then we look at some news that might have an effect on what the job market looks like or what the tech scene is. So let's look at those numbers. I got 3 sets of graphs here. One is the last 7 days, the second one is the last 6 months, and the third one at the bottom here is the last year of JavaScript developer jobs on Indeed.com. I picked JavaScript because for the previous 3 years, that's been our main focus, my day job, of who our audience was. And so I've been tracking that number for that reason. But it's also just a good thumbnail of kind of where the industry is going. You know, there are a lot of ways you can program. Embedded systems, data science, there's a whole bunch of different things that you could use the skills of programming for. But I can't track everything. And so, you know, shooting down the middle of web application development is a pretty good indicator of where kind of the industry is going. And you can see from these graphs, it's not going well, frankly. The last 7 days has got a downward trend. Again, these ongoing tariffs have been bad news for our industry. They're bad news for a lot of industries. But in our industry, what it's mainly meant is that we just don't know what budgets look like. We're supposed to start the year with a lot of enthusiasm about we're going to make more money this year than we made last year. We're going to release new products. We're going to add new features. We're going to convert to a subscription model. We're going to do all these things. We have big plans this year. And in order to implement those plans, we need people. We need butts and seats. We need programmers. And usually there's a bit of a staffing up that goes on at the beginning of the year. We did not see that this year. Because almost immediately after the inauguration, there's been a lot of uncertainty injected into the larger market, but more specifically in tech too. A lot of business leaders gravitated towards the current administration, but and they thought that they would get, you know, less regulation and unfettered access to M&A and the like. And so far, that has not turned out well for them. And unfortunately, we're all living the results of that. So if we look at the last 6 months, it's roughly about the same. It's a little less, maybe 5% less than where we were 6 months ago. But that doesn't factor in where the seasonal numbers should be. If we look back a full year from this date, the number of jobs being posted was probably 40% more than it currently is. That's not great. Not great. And again, if you just look at the trend line, it's a slow slide into nobody knows where. Nobody knows what. But it is what it is. It's the game we're all playing. I do break these numbers up into a little bit more granularity. I started doing that at the beginning of the year. The graph on the left here is the number of overall job postings in blue of all JavaScript developers in the United States. The red line is the remote jobs. And then if you look at experience level and factor that in, entry level is our blue line, mid-level is the red line, and senior level is yellow line. Senior and mid have stayed pretty flat in the last couple of weeks for sure, but those mid-level numbers really dropped precipitously. And that's where that overall slope is. And then if you look at the remote jobs, the same kind of holds true. Entry level and senior level have been lower numbers, but relatively flat. And now we're seeing that mid-level drop in job postings there. Not great. I do spend a ridiculous amount of my time every day on LinkedIn. I do it because that's where the people are that do hiring. That's where we go to research different companies. That's where we connect with people in the business world, but also because they have this LinkedIn newsfeed that often has good stories right at my fingertips that let me know kind of what's going on in the industry. And if we look at this one, it looks like it was updated 10 minutes ago. So these are pretty fresh. And the story says that Google cracks down on remote work from the office at least 3 days a week, or risk losing your job. Several units at Google told their remote employees recently, according to internal documents reviewed by CNBC. The crackdown comes at a time when the tech giant and its competitor are increasing investments in artificial intelligence and looking for ways to offset the expense. The company spokesperson clarified the hybrid work mandate only applies to certain teams. Some affected employees are being offered voluntary exit packages. So, companies don't like to announce layoffs. Um, I say that some companies do like to announce layoffs. It depends on what your goal of your short-term goal of your company is. If you're just trying to increase your profits, they love to say, hey, we're laying off people, because then the headcount goes down in a short amount of time. Your costs go down and your profits go up. And if you're a company that's a publicly traded company, sometimes that can be beneficial for a while in terms of juking your stock market prices. Uh, that doesn't really hold the same way for a Google. Google is not looking for those. They're playing the long game. They've played the long game for quite a while now, and frankly won the long game. And they've had the competition has been surrounding them and nipping at their heels and really making some inroads and unseating them. And so they are very serious about getting back on top. And so for them, this thing makes sense. Let's get everybody all together, all rowing in the same direction. Let's tackle the barbarians at the gate and stay the king of the hill. But it's also if people want to voluntarily leave, again, we'll take that. There's never a shortage of people who want to work for Google. So they can hire people that are maybe a little more hungry, that will maybe cost them a little bit less. So they're in the catbird seat, as it were. I don't even know what that phrase means. The catbird seat. The White House weighs tariff rollback. The White House is considering scaling back some auto industry tariffs after it was warned that they would deal a severe blow to profits and jobs. Reports Bloomberg. Go back here. Officials are also mulling some of the steep U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports that have disrupted global trade, per the Wall Street Journal. However, China on Thursday denied talks of a trade deal. Meanwhile, 12 states have sued Trump administration to block enforcement of its trade policy. They've been playing with fire, this administration. We heard they got an earful of bad news from the retail industry. The retail industry was talking to them earlier this week and saying, do you guys want empty shelves at Christmas time? Well, that's where we're at right now, because this is the time when we make all those orders from our Chinese factories so that they can have the products done in time for Christmas. And if we don't make those orders, if we don't understand, that things are going to be okay and we're going to have customers in November, we're not going to make those orders. And you could turn this thing around, but it'll be too late because they won't have time to build the products for Christmas. And Christmas is our biggest sale of the year. And come Christmas, even if you turn this thing around and people got lots of money in their pockets, our shelves are going to be empty, and you're going to get blamed for that. So, and there's really no reason for China to talk with us. They're kind of holding the cards. They're kind of holding the cards. Yeah, interesting. OpenAI eyes $174 billion in sales by 2030. Making 5-year forecasts is stupid. I've said it many times on the stream. I don't like hearing what the world is going to be like in 5 years because I couldn't even tell you 2 years ago what today was going to be like. I was wrong when I was predicting 2 years ago what today would be like. And, you know, they're saying by 2030, we're going to have robots running all over the place. What does that do for the AI boom? Yeah, I don't know. Don't like those stories. They're dumb. Adobe steps up its AI game. The AI war is heating up. Adobe said Thursday it's planning to introduce a mobile version of Firefly, its image generation tool, on both iOS and Android soon. Everybody wants to put out a press release that says soon. I really don't like that. Just as the software giant faces increasing competition from buzzy AI startups such as OpenAI and Runway, Adobe has also debuted its newest AI models, Firefly Image Model 4 and Image Model 4 Ultra, and made its Firefly video generation publicly available. I have been a big supporter of Adobe over the years, and Adobe went from being the belle of the ball to a bit of a pariah at times, and I have not wavered on my support for Adobe. I can point to a lot of things I didn't like that they did, but man, that product, I've been using it for 35 years, and that is Photoshop and Premiere and After Effects and Illustrator, and from time to time, you know, smaller, more niche products that they have. And I used to teach at the only authorized Adobe training facility in the Midwest. I taught with them for years. I am a huge supporter of Firefly. And frankly, they're in a pretty good position for a lot of reasons. Everybody else, especially in the video space, is like, give us a prompt, we'll give you a video. But that's fine if, you know, it comes up with exactly what you want. But that's not the way most video works. It's like, oh, that looks great and that looks great, but I want to change this. If you do any video editing, if you do any After Effects editing, if you do any kind of layered editing, Photoshop included, it's about layering up content and tweaking this portion of it and tweaking that portion of it and being able to generatively develop content on layers so that you can individually tweak those layers and optimize what you're getting, not just like, again, the final black box spits out a product. If they can figure that out, that's where Hollywood goes. That's where media goes. Because again, people want control. They want the speedy, great quality of AI, but they want control. They want to fine tune it. Creative people need to be able to be creative with the assets, not just be creative with an individual prompt. This is democratizing video creation for sure, because again, you don't have to have skills as a visual effects artist. You can just go and prompt a thing and get a thing. And if you're a non-professional, that's perfectly fine. It's amazing. It's opening up so many interesting things. But if you are a professional, and you're working on an After Effects project, you'll have 70 layers of things going on, and you're tweaking every little layer. Oh, I want to speed this up. Oh, I want to change the color, grading of this one aspect on the page. Oh, I want to highlight this thing. Oh, I want to speed up this, just this one aspect of my image. I want to run it at double speed, right? Adobe could unlock all of that stuff, right? It could say, give me a generative AI clip, but I want it in this channel, and I just want to be this, and I want it on a transparent background. Boom. Now I can start layering this stuff. Now I can tweak it, right? Adobe could be there. They're not yet, but they could be. So I'm still bullish on Adobe. And they're training their models with licensed content too. They have not been stealing everybody's content in order to train their models. So that works in their favor. Also, Tesla had a rough week. Slashes spending plans. Tesla appears to be scaling back its spending plans after reporting a 71% plunge in profits. Per a regulatory filing made Wednesday, the EV maker is allocating $10 billion for capital expenditures this year, down from more than $11 billion it was planning on spending just 3 months ago. CEO Elon Musk admitted on an earnings call Tuesday that the company is struggling amid higher tariffs imposed by the current administration and vowed to take a step back from his government work. Not to walk away from his government work, a step back. And fractional CEO Elon Musk, many people believe, needs to get back to wearing the CEO cap. SpaceX seems to be doing pretty well on its own without him at the helm, and his satellite internet company seems to be doing okay without him at the helm. But Tesla is struggling, and this has been his thing his whole career. It's like, company's about to go under. I'm gonna go and sleep at the factory and do what it takes to get the job done. And I've saved the company many times. Well, he's kind of got his eye off the ball lately at a time when clearly it's important for him to stay focused. So I'm broadcasting from Austin, Texas, and we are a bit of a hub for Elon and his companies. He's moved a lot of his companies to the area or within a few hours drive of me. And so his shadow looms large in my neck of the woods. Where goes Elon, so goes a significant portion of our local industry. College grads hit job search hurdles. For the class of 2025, the post-grad jobs picture looks iffy. Employers now expect to hire the same number of graduates they did last year per one study versus the 7.3% increase they projected just months ago. Thanks to widespread cuts, government jobs are harder to come by. In the private sector, many companies are moderating their hiring. But there's some bright spots. Energy, manufacturing, and software product firms all plan to hire more recent grads this year. This is what I've been talking about for months now. We're not seeing the huge layoffs in the software industry, but what we're seeing is hiring freezes. So if we lose somebody, we'll put out a job posting, but we're not growing. We just can't see in our crystal ball the future. the same way we thought we could 3 months ago before all this craziness happened. How are we doing on that? We're doing all right. Okay. If you just joined us, my name is Keith, and I created the stream as just a hangout for people who are in the job market, tech job market, looking for somebody to pal around with while you're getting those job apps open. And so I talk about what's going on in the news in the tech space, the wider business space, if I feel like it's going to affect us. And here we go. What's going on in the technology news? Internet. Go delete yourself from the internet. Seriously. Here's a thank you, Wall Street Journal. The internet is forever. No, it's not. FBI Internet Crime Report shows increase of complaints in South Carolina. Okay. Seniors lost $4.8 billion to scammers in 2024. I'm reading a new book, came out this year. It's a marketing book. And one of the things that they said is, you get these spam email messages, and they are the most ridiculous thing. The African prince, Nigerian prince, or whatever, that wants to give you money. And any reasonable person is like, why would they? This is the dumbest thing. Why are they sending out this stupid? Who's going to fall for this? This is the dumbest thing. And what the marketer who wrote this book said, which was kind of interesting, and I'm a little surprised I hadn't heard it before, was it's dumb on purpose. Because they're going to send out 500 million email addresses, and maybe only 1/10 of 1/10 of 1/10 of 1/10 of 1% of those people are going to respond to that and fall for it. But those are exactly the people that you want to fall for it, because if it seemed more reasonable, then you would have a lot of inbound of people who are somewhat skeptical, like, oh, I'm not sure about this. Well, somebody who's not sure about it is wasting a lot of your time, and you're likely not going to get anything from it in the first place. But if you put up the dumbest thing and somebody falls for it, then you got yourself a mark, and you can work them to the tune of $4.8 billion, evidently, which I thought was kind of interesting. I hadn't thought about it in those terms before. This may be common sense in the marketing space, but I have not in my career spent a whole lot of time in that world. Can I get reimbursed for my internet service if I work from home? These are all dumb stories. These are dumb stories. "59 minutes ago, Dow's down." Exhausted by reversals, traders get no relief from the rebound. Okay, we done our 30 minutes. Let's wrap it up. Hopefully you got out a bunch of or a handful of job applications. Just because I'm stepping away doesn't mean you have to. Oh my God. But if you missed it, I said earlier, my son had to be on a plane at 3:30 this morning. So I ended up staying up late and didn't get to bed till 4. So I'm running on fumes. And I need to go back and lay down for a little bit. But I'm not gonna leave you hanging. I'm gonna be there for you. Tomorrow I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be up here bright and early, hopefully with a little bit more sleep under my belt. And then I am going away for the weekend. My wife and I are going to head to Fort Worth and check out some museums and get a little break for a couple of days. It should be fun. Although it should be raining, they say. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, guys. Have a great day, and we will see you in 23 hours and 30 minutes. In the meantime, and in between time, get those job applications out. That's your job. Your job is to get a job. Stay focused. Stay consistent. I'm going to be here. You're going to be here. We're going to get the job done. All right, guys.